Hi, my name is Carrie Toth, and I am not a French teacher. I'm a Spanish teacher, and I wrote the curriculum Huellas for Spanish 3 and 4 students. A good friend of mine, and I could not have done this without her. Krista Kowalczyk asked me about Huellas for French students. So we together have been redesigning the units to create the Empreintes curriculum for, I apologize for any pronunciation mistakes. That is Krista's forte and not mine. She has worked really hard to change the units so that they aren't a Spanish unit translated into French. The videos in the units often are in Spanish or English, or I think we have somewhere in there a Thai video. The language of the video resource that anchors the unit isn't important because when we do a clip chat, we mute the sound on the video. So, really, what we're looking for is images. When it was not possible to use the same video, for example, in on prompt number 111, there's a video called Lookalikes or Ressemblance. In that video, the mom is bringing a little boy around and everybody thinks he looks like somebody different. That video was a high quality video for our purposes of compare and contrast. Uh, when we looked at another unit, like our Spanish 1.5 is called Bajo la Mesa, it's based on a song. And that wasn't going to work for French because we didn't want to give you a Spanish song and do that in French. So instead, Krista searched until she found a commercial. And so we now have a commercial that has almost the exact same theme as the video that we used for the center of the Bajo la Mesa unit. So in Almusé, you get a completely French adaptation. So what we really hope is that you will love this curriculum and that you will want to use it with your French students. We started out with just 3 or 4 units. This year we have units 1.1 through 1.5. We do not have unit 1.6 yet. Unit 1.6 is called Recipe Talks. And as a Spanish teacher, I know a lot of native Spanish speakers. So I was able to put together some video resources and some recipes from Spanish speaking friends around the world. I don't have those kinds of connections in the French world, so I'm still working to put together an adaptation for that. But we are also releasing, we have 1.7 is finished, and 1.8 and 1.9 are coming out this summer. That leaves us yet to do 1.6 and then 1.10 through 1.15. On the level 2 side, we're not as fast on that one, or not, I mean, not that we're not as fast, we just haven't gotten as far on that one. We did unit 2.2 this summer, and we also already had from years ago, my friend Bess Hales actually helped me do 2.9, Mar de Plástico, Plastic Ocean, and then 2.10, Zero de shit, or like no trash, zero waste. So there are now 8, 9, 10, 11 units of the 30 that we hope to add to the Empreintes growing bundle. So what you see when you make your purchase, whether on TPT or on somewhere2share.com, is that you will have a folder, a Google Drive folder that has each of those individual units inside. As we add new ones, once you've bought the bundle, if you adopt early while we don't have as many units, your cost is lower. Eventually, we will break it into the 2 different curricula, the level 1 and the level 2. I would like to say that the units are not chronological. When I put together Huellas as a curriculum, I looked at the units and thought, what's a logical order that they might go in? And so I laid them out that way. But initially, when I wrote those units for my students and with my students in the classroom, I just used them as they popped up, as I thought of something that I wanted to teach. So these are truly standalone units that you can use in conjunction with another curriculum that you may have, or that you can use to teach your students just 1.1 all the way through 2.10 in one year. There's not a ton of variation other than in vocabulary. Really, our students come into us in those upper level classes as early intermediates, and data shows that it's hard to get them to intermediate high. So our goal is to expose them over and over again to narratives, to compare and contrast, to content-based units that help them take the language that they're acquiring and use it to speak and to be better performers on those standardized tests that tell them what their performance or proficiency is. Let me take you for a little look inside, and I will apologize in advance for my Google Drive. Dylan is my manager of my Google Drive, and this is not his choice of what the Google Drive looks like. This is actually a disaster. So when I come into the Google Drive as an Empreintes user, you have a collaborative drive and you have the Empreinte curriculum. When you purchase, you'll get an access sheet, whether on Teachers Pay Teachers or on somewhere2share.com. That access sheet, you'll download it to your computer and save it somewhere. Each time we add a new unit, you will get that free. But you need to be able to access this main folder. If at any time you come down and you make a copy of the folder to your own drive or a shortcut to the folder to your own drive so that you have easier access to it, otherwise it's going to be in your shared with me. If you make a copy, you're going to lose access to the automatic updates. So you'll either need to come back to the shared with me or you'll have to click on your access sheet. So I would say just put that in a place that you know right where it is. Each of the files is listed here. So we'll just take a look at this first one. There's a folder if you have Google Classroom or if you have an LMS, a learning management system that is good with Google Classroom. You may want to assign, instead of printing out copies, you may want to just assign student sheets. Dylan has done a really great job of making the student sheets easy to move manipulatives, or text boxes are already there for them to type in. If not, you can always, so every unit, the very first thing that you see document wise is going to have a big double underscore there, and it will be the unit plan. That's where you want to start. I know that this seems like a lot of different files, but they don't make sense without looking at this first. So you have your terms of use for the curriculum. The hors d'oeuvres are the warm-ups that we use for the Ressemblance for all the curricular units. They'll have a warm-up slideshow. This is your PDF that tells you how to get to the collaborative drive where other teachers are able to share what they're doing with the curriculum. This is our master update log. If you find an error, please, I have them proofed, but as a proofer, as an editor myself, I know that sometimes tired eyes can miss something. So if you find something that is a mistake, an error, please just email us. You can email info@somewhere2share.com. You can email Dylan at somewhere2share.com or Carrie at somewhere2share.com. All of those emails would be a great place to go. This is where we put the log of what we have updated. So that's where you would check. This is a game that's in there. This is the whole curriculum map of where the curriculum is now and where it's going. There's a couple of more retail slideshows. There's a little form down here, but they don't make sense unless you open this. This is your master document, and we've really been working hard with WayYes. We are on now our fourth format for WayYes. Initially, they were all independent units and they didn't look alike. I've taken those and I made them more similar with like a border, but I abused fonts. And so my graphic designer took my fonts away and said, this is all that you get. My friend Jody Static made this template for all of our unit plan lessons, and I feel like it's so much more navigable. So when you open up your unit plan, you have obviously our copyright and credits, a little welcome. Each unit, you'll see that it tells you what the plans are based. So in our plans, we have face-to-face plan, and then we also have a sub or virtual plan. We initially put those in because of the COVID days, but as we move forward, a lot of people have virtual days. If you have a snow day, but you can do e-learning, these are the kinds of things that you might want to do. Or if you know you're going to be out for a sub, we've given you some ideas for ways that you could adapt the lesson plans on a day when you are not physically going to be present with students. The grammar bubble. Now, this is a feature that's about to change. The grammar bubble just reminds us, keep in mind, to be an intermediate I, you have to using present, past, and future tense, but you probably make some mistake. Like students will probably make some mistakes in when to use each one. An advanced low is better capable of recognizing if we're talking about what's happening tomorrow, I'm going to use the future. If I'm telling a story about my favorite Christmas, I'm going to use the past. So it's important to us if our students, our teacher candidates are getting advanced low after a study abroad. So at high school level, they're not going to be there yet. They're not going to automatically just master the future tense the first time we teach it. So in each unit, we're going to offer you ideas for how can you reinforce what they already know about the present tense? How can you reinforce what they already know about the past tense? How can you use the future tense to make predictions? And then we're going to offer some other grammar kind of points. Coming soon. For Empreintes, I don't think it's going to be this summer. We're working on a addition to the Way Yes curriculum called Way Yes Your Way. And in that addition, for every unit, we're adding 3 days of little plans where we do more in-depth vocabulary and grammar in context. Always in context. It's not really drills or worksheets, and you're welcome to do that, but hopefully it will give you a guide. This is what we're using in context. And after you use it in context, if you'd like to go on and do a more formal grammar explanation of it, we've tried to give you a target for each unit in the curriculum. And then some homework possibilities because some schools actually require teachers to send something home with students. So we wanted to make that part easier. The summer has gone fast and it's mid-July when I'm recording this. Today's July 18th. And that means that Dylan and I have about a month before we go back to school. And the Way Us Your Way packet is about 1,000 pages. So Dylan may have just nubs for fingers and not be able to get the on-prompt one done. We're going to see how that goes. But if not this summer, coming next summer, that will be ready. This is your summary page. So this is where you're going to go to do all of your clicking around in the curriculum. You can go day by day down the side and see what's happening each day. You can click on these, day 1, day 2, day 3, down to day 6. You can see just the principles. Let's say you've already looked at your daily lesson plans. You've planned out your 5 days of your week, and now you just need to go back and grab this photo story. So you can click on principles, and it's going to be on page 24 of the principles. And then we added a bonus section with the little B there, and that's where you'll find the remote and sub plans. And also you can get to the principles by clicking here. I will tell you that sometimes Google is persnickety. And when the document is here in preview mode, I don't know if you can tell, this is preview mode in Google. Like it's popped up the document. It isn't actually an open document. It's a preview of the document. Sometimes the clicks don't work. So you may have to, if your computer is being tricky with you, you may have to come over here and just download the document to get all of the clicks to work. Other times we have had links break. So if you come to a click that isn't working, even though Dylan and I both are full-time in the classroom, we really try to be attentive to our emails and get things fixed as quick as possible. So if you find a link that seems to not be clicking and you've tried downloading the file, please let us know and we will get that fixed as quickly as we possibly can. So if you come to the overview, so you can go to the overview from there. This is kind of like your click to the overview on the side. Again, it has day 1 through 6, but it breaks down activity by activity. These are the main things you're going to do. So if you're looking for an easy thing here's my plan book, here's, the things that I'm going to do every day. So you can copy them down without having to wade through all of the instructions. We wanted to break it down so that it was easier for you to see your day at a glance before you went in depth. And then each day has a tab on the side. So day 1, you're going to start the unit with your hors d'oeuvre, your warm up. And then you're going to introduce the vocab. And that Google slideshow that we saw in the folder back when we were looking in the folder, again, it looks like kind of a lot of stuff in the folder, but once you come into this main PDF document, you've found right where you need to be. You just click on this, it will open up that slideshow, and then you're set to go. And at the end of that vocab slideshow, there's a little bit of a sneak peek of the video that they're going to watch the next day. We have our hors d'oeuvre slides again. It will open them back up for you by clicking. There's a script. We're doing this clip chat of the resemblance or the lookalikes videos. Again, this is a DirecTV commercial that is in Spanish, but we don't want the Spanish. We want to turn off the audio. We want to use this script. This is how we're going to talk about this video. We're there for the images, not for the language. And then we have a little wrap up of the day. They're doing a little puzzle. It's like a Sudoku and it's identical. So they will do that kind of vocab practice of the family members. This is an example inside that Unit 1 folder, and each unit has all of those same things. You always will come in, you'll always see your student sheets if you want to use the student sheet. You'll always have your unit plan as the very first thing. You always see a master log in the folder. The curriculum map is in there if you need it. So we hope that it is super easy to navigate and that it's just what your upper level French students need to dive into kind of a study of content-based topics. One thing that I will say, in our early units, 1, 2, and 3, these are more of a way to kick off the year and do some reviews. So the resemblances video is one where we're talking about how family members resemble each other, but also we can use past and present and future as part of our practice. The free time unit is also based on a video about what people are brave enough to try. And because the video is also one that we're not using the sound on, there's not language in that video. Like it's the story that we're talking about that video with. That's the important part. So instead of focusing on that, we focused on what will students dare to do in the future. So it gives us a good chance to use future and conditional in practice. And the switch is completely predictive. So it's a very future heavy unit. Then we move into totally content-based curriculum where students are learning in Mamiwata, they're doing a legend. In Al Musée, they're visiting a museum. Manger pour vivre. Vivre. I'm not good at the French R. How, as a Spanish teacher, how I'm ever going to get good at French is beyond me because I cannot pronounce a French R. In this unit, Eat to Live, Live to Eat, they're looking not at food shaming in any way. This is more like different dietary lifestyles people follow, like what does it mean to be a vegetarian versus a vegan, etc. An orangutan in my bedroom is about sustainable palm oil. Plastic Ocean about the ocean plastics contamination, zero waste about trying to make less waste to cause less ocean contamination. So they're deep topics, and I'm really excited to share them with you and with your students. I would encourage you, if you love the curriculum, if you've tried the curriculum, if you have units that are your favorite, come over to Facebook. We have a Facebook group called Empreintes Curriculum Collab, and we would love to have you in there sharing your experience. Because as a WAYES teacher myself, I can share all the things that my students are doing in the classroom with that curriculum. But I don't have the ability to do that as a Spanish teacher with this French curriculum. So I would love to invite you to come and share your experiences with us there and help us make it a more active community on Facebook. Follow me on Somewhere to Share, somewhere.to.share on Instagram for updates. You can also check out my mailing list. If you go to Instagram and to my link in the bio, you can sign up for my mailing list. And there you can get updates on what's happening with Empreinte and when we add new units. And we have lots of really great fun French surprises coming this school year 26-27. So whenever in the future you may be watching this, know that we are focused on expanding what we can offer to you as French teachers. Have a really great day. Bye-bye.